We're tracking the investigation into a fire where a man was badly burned. We'll tell you what investigators found in the home that kept them on the scene for hours.
He kept walking towards me, and I shot him in the leg.
A grandfather talks to us about what he says he had to do after a man threatened to take his grandchildren.
And the Cats are Sweet 16 bound. We'll show you what some students did for a chance at buying a ticket to Cleveland.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
We are just getting word of a really sad situation, a tragic scene unfolding late today in southern Kentucky. Emergency crews are on the scene right now of a deadly school bus accident in Whitley County.
The accident happened just about an hour ago on Kentucky 779 near the Rockholds community. We just talked to the sheriff just a few minutes ago who confirmed a 10-year-old child was hit and killed by a bus. The accident scene is near Clark's grocery store. We do have a crew on the way to the scene, and we will bring you the very latest information as we receive it on air and on WKYT.com.
A house fire leads to a police scene in a Lexington neighborhood.
That fire happened this morning on Woodbine Drive. One person inside suffered life-threatening injuries. While he's being treated at UK Hospital, investigators have spent all day at the home because of something found inside during the fire. WKYT's Jordan Valines explains in our top story at 5.
When we first arrived on the scene of a house fire on Woodbine Drive, there were pretty much only fire trucks. But as the hours passed, police officers, hazmat crews, and arson investigators began arriving on scene one after the other. Lexington police say around 9:45 this morning, a woman dropped a man off at St. Joe's Hospital with serious burns. And around the same time, firefighters responded to a house fire on Woodbine Drive and quickly concluded that the burn victim was involved in that fire. We're told the victim was living in the home with his father, who was sleeping when the fire broke out, but was not injured. Meanwhile, the son suffered life-threatening injuries. When arson investigators arrived on scene, police say they located a drug lab within the home, and the scene escalated from there. Police shut down the roadway and put crime scene tape around the home, shocking neighbors living right next door.
That's never a fun thing to see, so just glad it wasn't bigger than what it was.
At this time, police are not releasing what drug it was that was found inside the home. In Lexington, Jordan Valines, WKYT.
And police have not released the name of the victim involved in that fire.
It's a terrifying situation for any parent or grandparent. This weekend, a Frankfort grandfather says he had to protect his grandchildren from a man who threatened to take one of them. It ended up with the grandfather shooting the man. He talked to WKYT's Sean Moody about what led up to him firing his gun.
Frankfort police said they don't get very many calls to this neighborhood here along Harrodswood Road, but on Saturday evening, a man says he had to shoot another man who told him he was on a mission from God to take one of his grandchildren.
Around 6 o'clock Saturday evening, Robert Redmond said he was mulching in his front yard when a man he didn't know showed up in his front yard.
I stopped him and asked him what he wanted, and he's walking straight at us, and he said that God sent him, and he needs to have one of the kids.
He says the man attacked him.
Within seconds, he was kicking me on the side of my leg and jumped up on my back and was choking me.
Redmond said he got free and grabbed a handgun that was in the cab of his truck. His wife had come to the front door and started taking these pictures. He said he's taken concealed carry classes and thought the threat of a gun would scare the man away, but he says it didn't. He says he kept telling that man to leave, but he wouldn't.
He kept walking towards me, and I shot him in the leg.
Police are still investigating. They say that man was treated at the hospital for non-life-threatening injuries.
Frankfort police say they'll present this case to the Commonwealth's attorney to see if any charges should be filed. In Frankfort, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Redmond says he's lived in that house for 16 years and has never had a problem. We've had a really pleasant start to the work week, but don't get too attached to this beautiful weather.
Yeah, we have some changes in store in the next couple of days. WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey's here now with the forecast. How about it, Chris?
Yeah, we're already seeing some of those changes showing up on your temperature map from north to south across Kentucky. We're the dividing line right now between true spring to the south and true winter just to our north. Look at the numbers. 46 degrees into Covington. 59 Lexington, 71 Now into southern Kentucky for the good folks here into Laurel County. London at 71. A lot of those car thermometers showing up at 70 degrees or better across the south. Tell that to your neighbors into far northern Kentucky. Now, if you're out this evening, we're kind of splitting the difference with temperatures dropping from the low 50s into the low and mid 40s as clouds begin to increase from northwest to southeast. Now, one of the reasons we're much colder in the north, yeah, we're on the other side of a cold front that is out there, but we're also seeing some precipitation breaking out. Sleet and snow from Indianapolis through Dayton and Columbus. That is bypassing us just to the north, but some of those light sprinkles and very light showers trying to skirt across northern parts of the Owen County area, Williamstown, Dry Ridge, up around Florence and Falmouth, getting it on some of that. I suppose northern parts of Harrison County could see a little sprinkled here or there. Majority of that stuff, though, is going to hang just to our north, and it's beginning to decrease in overall coverage and intensity. Weather headlines as we roll ahead. Those big temperature swings continue to show up until a strong cold front gets back into town by Thursday. And guys, behind that front, Old Man Winter doing a little bobbing and weaving as he fights back into the bluegrass state.
Hey, Cats were doing some bobbing and weaving with a tough game this weekend. The next stop, though, on the Cats' march to national title number 9 is Cleveland.
Yeah, UK will face West Virginia in the Sweet 16 on Thursday. Today, though, the competition was for a chance to get a ticket. WKYT's Mark Barber shows us how long some students waited to be able to watch their Cats in person.
With Kentucky taking on West Virginia in the Sweet 16 on Thursday, the Cats are just 4 wins away from making history. Many fans who are hoping to be a part of this history-making season say they're willing to go any distance and pay any price. This group of UK students started camping out at the Joe Craft Center ticket office for lottery tickets around 3 a.m. The 250 tickets were sold to students for just $200. But if you aren't one of these lucky few, catching the Cats in Cleveland could be much more costly. According to the NCAA Ticket Exchange website, seats are running between $237 and $1,600. For those who are confident the Cats will advance to the Elite Eight on Saturday, ticket packages for both games will set you back $475 a seat or $19,000 a suite. Students who waited hours for tickets this morning say it is pricey, but the money doesn't matter as much as the chance to see the Cats get one game closer to 40-0.
It's just an awesome experience watching them make history and just being there. It's awesome.
Now, if you are heading up to Cleveland, you may want to bring your winter fan gear. They are calling for rain and snow on Thursday, and on Saturday, it's not much better. The high will be 29 degrees, so you may want to layer up in as much of that Kentucky blue as possible. In Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
And game time Thursday at Quicken Loan Arena in Cleveland is a late one. It's set for 9:45. If you can't get a ticket, you can see it right here on WKYT.
An increase in disposable cleaning products is causing sewer problems for a central Kentucky city. Our county-by-county coverage begins in Franklin County, where the Frankfort Sewer Department says baby wipes and household cleaning wipes that claim to be flushable have been clogging up their system. Sewer Director Bill Scalf says it's become an expensive problem.
We estimate we spend between $75,000 and $100,000 annually dealing with this problem.
Scalf says the only thing he recommends flushing down the toilet is toilet paper. In Montgomery County, a grand jury decided not to indict a man in his girlfriend's death. A truck hit and killed Katrina Craver on Nest Egg Road in January. Investigators say she jumped on the back of Adam Baker's truck as he pulled into the road. The grand jury decided there was not enough evidence to charge him. Investigators say the couple had had an argument before that crash. They say Baker told them he didn't know that Craver fell from his truck.
Police revealed the findings of their investigation into an alleged gang rape at the University of Virginia. The victim came forward in an article in Rolling Stone. As Wendy Gillette shows us, police say their 5-month investigation found the evidence doesn't back up the victim's claims.
Police investigating an alleged gang rape at a University of Virginia fraternity say there's no evidence the attack described in Rolling Stone magazine actually took place.
Suffice it to say, we were unable to find any basis of fact to conclude that there was even an event on September the 28th, 2012 at that particular fraternity house.
In the explosive article last fall, a student identified as Jackie described being sexually assaulted by 7 men at a Phi Kappa Psi party in 2012. The allegations prompted the university to suspend all social activities at Greek organizations. But investigators found numerous discrepancies in the woman's account, including her friend's recollections of the incident.
They don't recall any physical injuries. They do feel like something occurred, but they don't recall any physical injuries, and so there's some inconsistencies between what they recall and what's outlined in the article.
Jackie refused to cooperate with police after the article was printed in November.
And that doesn't mean that something terrible did not happen to Jackie.
Police say the case is suspended, not closed. Wendy Gillette for CBS News, New York.
Rolling Stone has admitted it made mistakes in the article.
Follow WKYT online at WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
There's only a year and a half until we pick a new president, and today Texas Senator Ted Cruz threw his hat into the ring. The 44-year-old Republican announced his candidacy at Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia. He took the opportunity to emphasize his conservative values.
I believe in the power of millions of courageous conservatives rising up to reignite the promise of America.
The Republican field is expected to grow quickly. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker, and former Florida Governor Jeb Bush all considering their own presidential bids. 7 Jewish siblings killed in a house fire were laid to rest today. The children ages 5 to 16 were all killed Saturday in Brooklyn, New York. And their bodies were flown from New York to Israel overnight, where a funeral was held today. Investigators think a hot plate caused the fire. Their mother and another 14-year-old sibling remained in critical condition.
The trial of the Boston Marathon bombing suspect entered its 11th day today. Prosecutors focused on digital evidence during today's proceedings. It included messages and files found on Johar Tsarnaev's phone and computer. The April 2013 attacks killed 3 people and injured more than 200. The prosecution may wrap up its case this week. A magistrate has ordered a millionaire murder suspect to be held in New Orleans without bond. The magistrate says Robert Durst is a flight risk and a danger to others. He was arrested a week ago in New Orleans on weapons charges. He's also accused of murdering a friend in Los Angeles 15 years ago. His arrest came the day the final installment of an HBO documentary on his life aired. In it, he appears to admit to killing 3 people.
This may be the pizza delivery of the year. This weekend, a delivery man had a chance to help satisfy a craving for Pope Francis. In a recent interview, the Pope recently said the one thing he missed since taking the Catholic Church's top post was going out for pizza. So, on Saturday, when a pizzeria in Naples saw the Pope's car coming, an employee jumped the fence, approached the motorcade, and gave the Pope a pizza.
It's really hard for me to understand what I managed to do. Giving a pizza you made with your own hands to the Pope is very emotional. It's really hard for me to express the value of this gesture for a man we really love and value, for a beautiful person full of humanity.
And the Pope thanked him for the pizza. The restaurant, though, has not heard back about whether the Pope liked his pizza.
It is time now for better living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. There's new research to help people who need gluten-free foods. The Kansas Wheat Commission provided $200,000 for a project to identify the wheat DNA that causes a reaction in people with celiac disease. The hope is to breed a celiac-safe wheat. A popular baby product company must pay $10 million for not recalling defective car seats fast enough. Graco recalled millions of car seats last year because a defective latch could trap children. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says Graco officials knew about the problem for months before issuing the recall. There have been no reports of injuries from the defect. Parents of newborns may be concerned when the doctor says their child has jaundice. But as Holly Furfer shows us, it is a common condition and usually nothing to be worried about.
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, about 60% of full-term babies have jaundice.
Jaundice is yellow color of the skin. It's caused by the pigment bilirubin. Newborns typically have a slightly higher amount, so it's very common for newborns to have some yellow color to the skin.
There are several types of jaundice, but the most common one is called physiological jaundice and usually goes away on its own. Another type is breast milk jaundice.
One of the reasons that babies have higher levels of bilirubin is because of breastfeeding. Because with the way that breast milk is digested in the body, it causes the body to retain bilirubin.
Breastfeeding jaundice occurs when the baby is not getting enough breast milk. Jaundice can also occur when the baby's blood type is different from the mother's. In most cases, jaundice will go away within 2 weeks. In more severe cases, an ultraviolet light or phototherapy is used.
That converts the bilirubin into a form that's more easily excreted out of the body. And the nice thing now is that the technology allows us to often do this at home.
For today's Health Minute, I'm Holly Furfer.